3 weeks ago, the United States and Israel bombed Iran. And Iran did the one thing everyone was afraid of. They closed the Strait of Hormuz. If you don't know what that is, you're about to find out. Because this tiny strip of water controls whether your gas costs $3 or $10.
The Strait of Hormuz is a choke point between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. At its narrowest, it's only 21 miles wide. And the actual shipping lanes? 2 lanes, 2 miles each, separated by a 2-mile buffer. That's it. That's the entire highway for 20% of the world's oil supply, 20 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, Qatar, all of their oil has to squeeze through this one bottleneck. Oh, and 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas, too. Almost all of Qatar's LNG exports, 93%, go through here. So what happens when someone puts a giant padlock on it?
February 28, 2026. The US and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury, coordinated airstrikes on Iran's nuclear sites and military facilities. Iran's supreme leader was killed in the strikes, and Iran's response was exactly what everyone feared. March 2nd, Iran's Revolutionary Guard officially declared the Strait of Hormuz closed. Within days, tanker traffic dropped 70%. Over 150 ships are just sitting outside the strait, waiting. 21 confirmed attacks on merchant vessels. Iran even hit Qatar's Ras Laffan facility, the largest LNG processing plant on Earth, with a drone strike. And here's the part that should worry you. After a classified briefing, Senator Murphy told reporters the Pentagon has no plan to reopen it safely. They're calling it an Iranian kill box.
Before the war, Brent crude was sitting at $71 a barrel, pretty normal. By March 8th, 6 days after the closure, oil broke $100, first time in 4 years. It peaked at $126. That's a 77% spike in less than 2 weeks. And analysts are saying this could get worse. KPMG says 130 if the drags past 6 months. What McKinsey says 150. And they added, and I quote, $200 is not outside the realms of possibility. $200 oil. Let that sink in.
Let's make this personal. The national average for gas right now is $3.92. That's already up $1 from last month. If the strait stays closed, the EIA says gas won't drop below $3 at any point through the end of 2027. And that's their optimistic scenario. If this escalates further, analysts are modeling $7 to $10 a gallon. Your $50 fill-up becomes a $150 fill-up. But gas is just the beginning. It's not just oil. Jet fuel is up 25%, so flights get more expensive. Diesel is up, so shipping everything gets more expensive. Here's one most people miss. 46% of the world's urea, that's fertilizer, comes from the Gulf. Prices already spiked 40%. That means food costs more. Everything you eat that was grown with fertilizer, which is everything, gets more expensive. Oil spike leads to shipping costs, leads to food prices, leads to inflation, leads to the Fed raising rates, leads to recession. This is the exact playbook from 1973. 10 out of 11 post-World War II recessions were preceded by oil price spikes. The only exception was 1960. This pattern has a better track record than almost anything in economics.
The S&P 500 is only 3% off its all-time high right now. The market is betting this gets resolved quickly. Is the market right? Let's check the history. 1973 oil embargo. The S&P dropped 48%. Oil went from $3 to $12, a 4x increase. We're already at a 77% spike, and the strait's only been closed for 3 weeks. If you're wondering where the money is going, defense stocks and energy stocks are ripping. Equinor is up 74% year to date. Meanwhile, airlines are getting crushed. American Airlines dropped 7%. Carnival Cruise down 12%. The market always tells you what it's afraid of. Right now, it's afraid of this lasting longer than expected.
Can the Navy just escort ships through? Technically, yes, but only 3 to 4 per day with current resources. 20 million barrels normally flow through daily. That's like trying to empty a swimming pool with a coffee mug. What about bypass pipelines? The UAE has one, the ADOCP pipeline, with about 440,000 barrels per day of spare capacity.
Combined with Saudi's east-west pipeline, you can bypass maybe 3 to 5 million barrels out of 20 million. So 15%. The IEA released 400 million barrels from strategic reserves. Sounds like a lot, right? That covers 20 days of Hormuz equivalent flows. After that, it's gone. The honest answer? There is no quick fix. The Strait's geography favors Iran. They have mines, anti-ship missiles, fast attack boats, and submarines. The DIA's assessment, Iran could keep it shut for 1 to 6 months.
Here's what you need to understand. The market is pricing in a quick resolution. If that happens, oil drops, gas drops, everyone moves on. But if this drags on, oil at $150 or higher, gas at $7 to $10, inflation spikes, the Fed raises rates, and the recession playbook that's worked 10 out of 11 times kicks in. And it's not just America. China gets 38% of its oil through this strait. Japan gets 90% of its crude from the Middle East. South Korea, India, the entire Asian economy runs on Hormuz oil. 21 miles of water, 20 million barrels a day. And right now, it's closed. If you want to understand how this affects your portfolio and your wallet, subscribe, because this story is just getting started.